passes to Lilly, but Lilly in turn gets it to Stewart. Stewart now wide of the centre, and the mark will be taken out here by Smith of Prahran. 1.5 minutes gone in the first or in the second quarter. Puts it downfield now towards the centre-forward zone. They fly for it, no one able to take it. Comes through to Quinn. Quinn with a hand pass to Stevens. Stevens elects to go for the kick. He plays it wide of centre half-back. Out towards the right half-back flank. But Payne coming down to the forward line like a rover. Grabs the ball with 2 bounces and then the hand pass, but put it into the wrong player's hands. In lands Taylor. And Taylor now with the kick wide of centre half-back towards Roberts. Manane on his own. He must get it to Manane. And there's Manane moving in. Ford's created the loose man as well. But a misdirected kick. Oh, and gun caught one from Ford as he came through, but it's a hand pass to Cloak. Cloak will go for the kick, put the ball on its way offline, and it'll be out of bounds on the full. Well, that was a bad kick, Ted.
It was a bad kick. It was a bad miss by John Gunn also, but actually, but Oakleigh let themselves in again, but a bad kick by Peter Cloak.
Well, there's the kick over the centre line, and it comes towards John Lilly. John Lilly from short of the centre. Plays it up towards the half-forward line. Oakleigh push in the back right in front of the umpire. You couldn't miss that. As Peter Cloak who will take the free. He's immediately off, and Cloak gets the lead. Shoots it to Taylor at centre half-forward. And Taylor could score here, although he's kicking into the wind. This is his 8th kick coming up. He's kicked 1 point so far, and it's not a bad kick. He's kicked 2 points now. And that brings Oakleigh up to 2 goals 6, 18 to Prahran's 2 goals 4, 16 points. Gunn has the ball returned. The crowd really packed in here at the Junction Oval. We'll have a look at them in the background in a minute. And even now, down that end, it doesn't usually get crowded there. It comes into the hands of Taylor. Smith or Sinclair didn't even contest for the ball then. Taylor from centre half forward puts the ball on its way for Oakleigh towards the centre forward zone. Comes off the hands of the back. And here's Grange now in the race for the ball. He's a sound defender, this fellow. And Grange kicks it around the boundary line. He's looking for his teammate at right. White's got the ball in front of him. Stevens behind him. Too high. Umpire indicates in the back that he got him too high. Had both hands on his shoulders. Sinclair accepts the pass here on the right half-forward flank. Let's see what can happen from here. 2 points the difference, a very tight game. Either side getting the break. As it comes up towards the centre-forward position, they set themselves. Quinn came in from behind, got a hand on the ball. The umpire's called play on. Players reeling out of the pack, and a pick-up by Peter Lilly. Lilly puts it out in open territory, and here's a 30-metre race for the ball. With Lilly coming up to meet his own kick. He sends it further afield, but O'Brien comes in and defends for Prahran. He plays it towards the half-forward line, and out here, Emsel takes the mark. Emsel sends it across towards centre-forward. I still don't think players have settled down, and Weeks takes the mark from 20 metres out. I still don't think they've settled.
They haven't settled down there, and I noticed Tommy Quinn complaining to umpire Sterling too, that Weeks pushed him out before Weeks took the mark, and he's quite right too, for we had a good side-on view of it.
Too late to squawk after it's been given, Ted.
I agree.
He's kicked a point so far. Weeks lines them up now, 20 metres out from goal. Puts it on its way, and the goal umpire stays there. It's a goal, and Prahran now hit the front. They're 3-4, leading Oakleigh 2 goals 6.
Sides playing, but with these defences right on top, it could be finish up a very low-scoring game.
Robbins carrying the ball on in front of him now for Oakleigh. A poor kick intercepted by Smith. Smith of Prahran's off onto the left foot, now looking for Rippon. Rippon, Anderson getting up, but Rippon has taken the mark. He plays on over to right. Right turns onto the right foot. That's going goalwards. It'll be offline now, and it brings up 1 point. Prahran move on to 3 goals 5. Oakleigh 2 goals 6.
With only 5 points of difference now, we've been playing coming up to the 6.5 minutes in the second quarter. Prahran, that wind that Prahran were going to have in the second quarter has died again, so conditions are pretty still out there at the moment. But Prahran are getting the ball onto their forward line quite a lot. Rippon starting to come into the game at centre half forward, but it's still very noticeable too that the players are putting that ball high in the air, and as the players still have not yet settled down in this game so far.
And And now coming out with it was Wen. Gets it over to Robbins for Oakleigh. He looks for Cloak with a hand pass. Cloak will look for Manane. A poor hand pass, though. Manane comes back quickly again, though. He is looking for someone to give it to. Runs out of trouble. Gets it over to Taylor. Taylor will line them up. Puts it on his way in towards goal, and that looks good. Taylor has goaled, and Oakleigh take the lead again. That's his first, Taylor. Oakleigh 3 goals, 6. Prahran 3-5. Oakleigh lead by 1 point.
And what a great little player Lance Taylor is. He's had 10 kicks so far in this match. And he's certainly an opportunist down there. He's a player that plays at 2 types of game. He's an opportunist waiting for the ball to be handball coming out of the pack. And he's also a player with enough courage to go into the pack and bring the ball out. A great little player is Lance Taylor.
Well, it's still very tight out there. Neither side can get that break. Only 1 point separates them. Here's a chance for Oakleigh. They couldn't take the ball out. Ford scoots it out to Robbins. Robbins gets back onto the right foot, drives it down to Manane. And Manane marks out in front of Keneally. There's the hand pass to Cloak. It won't come off. Cloak coming back to get into it again. Barr left it for Cloak. Cloak onto the left foot. It's off to the side of the boot, though. And it brings up only 1 point. 2 points separate them. Oakleigh 3 goals, 7. Prahran 3-5. And that was his third behind, was it? Yes. 3 behinds to Cloak. His kicking's been astray. 2 points separating them, and we find Oakleigh leading by that margin, and they've had 2 more scoring shots. Here's the kick out. It's into open territory. Emsel now drives Prahran into attack. It's up across their half-forward line. Stewart leading in the race with the ball. My word, they've carried a long way. It's right up over the line, and it's now only about 40 metres around from the Prahran behind post. Wonder whether that week off will help Oakleigh at all, because fitness is going to tell in the second half. Here's John Lilly trying to carry that ball through again. It's forced out over the line. It's gained no distance whatsoever. Oakleigh defending now. Peter Lilly and Payne to do battle. No one got a decisive hit down, but it carried to Rippon. Rippon the hand pass. It's back to Rippon. Rippon shoots it over to Smith. Smith it soon. Now he's grabbed as he got his kick in. It's going in, and that's good. And Prahran takes the lead again. Prahran go under 4 goals, 5. Oakleigh 3 goals, 7. And that was Smith's first goal.
And you can see then too, Smith was very happy to get that goal, even though he was pushed then by John Forster. So here we find now Prahran have taken the lead now. This lead looks like the way they're playing at the moment, it's going to seesaw right throughout this game, because their forwards, you can see now, are starting to break away from the defenders. Defenders are right on top in the first half, and even at the opening of this second quarter. But the forwards now, with a little bit more pace, are starting slightly to get on top of the defenders.
Sinclair places the ball out onto the wing position. We're moving through as Perruit. Perruit lost the run of it. John Lilly comes through. The hand pass to Carr. Carr onto the right foot. Oh, he's tried to put it underground. Manane missed the run of it there too. Coming through as Sinclair now. And Sinclair drives Prahran out of trouble. It's up onto that wing position. He was looking for Townsend up there, but Forster forced the ball out over the line for a throw-in to take place.
4 points the difference. 4 the difference. So let's see it being thrown back into play again. It's a tight game, this one. It comes wide of the pack. There's Appleton bearing down on the ball, but he shepherds to allow Sinclair to come in. Sinclair puts it up towards the half-forward line. Prahran Anderson came out, tried to get one hand to it. He did, but then gets his kick in. Quinn's down there, reaching over the top of Quinn was Weeks, and Quinn using his hand, or using his head if you want to put it that way, dribbled it through for a point to Prahran. So it makes it 5 points the difference. It takes Prahran on 4 goals, 6 with Oakleigh, 3 goals, 7. 5 the difference. And to take the kick-off for Oakleigh, Chris Nesbitt. Big welcome to our audience through GLV Channel 10. Hope you'll enjoy the game this afternoon. It's been a very tight, close, hard-fought game to this stage. The mark by Payne out there, wide of the centre of the ground. Players slowing up a little. And up towards that half-forward line. Oh, and Anderson getting up, pulls down a great mark. Talking about people viewing, the boys down at the Morwell River Prison Farm, Ted. All the very best to you, and hope you'll enjoy the match this afternoon. The same with the boys at the Wyong Hotel at Vansdale from Billy Legg, one of our audio operators. No wonder he's a day or 2 late back. Anyway, there's the kick on its way. Goes across the face of goal and tapped away then by Quinn again, and he's put it through for another point, which makes it exactly 1 goal the difference now. Oakleigh 3-7-25, Prahran 4-7-31. And to Lance Taylor's mother, who unfortunately, I understand through illness, couldn't make it today, Amy Taylor at Seaford, Well, Lance has had quite a few kicks, Mrs. Taylor. He's had 10 so far. And you can see for yourself he's playing pretty well. There it comes, and Cloak getting up over the top. Well, that's typical of Cloak in taking the marks he does. But he didn't kick well. It was smothered by Rippon, and Rippon comes in now to put it to Appleton. Appleton up in the air, and waiting for it here is Cloak again, but it's knocked away from him by Rippon. Comes down towards Stevens. Stevens with the nose to the ground, can't control the ball. Townsend tried to trap it, but it's over the line and out. Now let's see what happens here. Comes back in towards Rippon, but Payne over the top directs the knockout down to Wright. Wright puts it high in the air looking for Weeks. They fly for it, and there'll be a free kick here, and it'll be to Quinn. He works hard, this fellow, Tom Quinn. The Oakleigh side in that last line of defence. How many kicks he had, Bush? This is his second, but he's done some good work in getting the ball away. Defensive work by punching the ball away. He's been pretty quiet when somebody told me he limped off the field on Wednesday night. This is his second kick coming up. He might be saving himself for a bigger effort later on. As it comes up towards the half-forward line, they fly for it. Comes through in the direction of Carr. He couldn't get to it before Keneally got there. A long hand pass to Emsel. Emsel taps it away neatly. Look at this experience he's using. Look at that. And then up towards Sinclair, Townsend. And Townsend grabbed, but pushes the ball down to bounce back correctly. Short pass to Smith. Then Smith takes the mark. Within scoring range. About 4 metres in from the boundary line and about 20 metres out from goal. He's kicked 1 goal so far, Jeff Smith. He's coming in from the left forward pocket, kicking towards the Fitzroy Street end of the ground. Lining them up. Puts it on its way now, and the goal umpire watches it very closely, this one, but I'd say 1 point only. It is 1 point, and that takes Prahran on the 4 goals 8 to Oakleigh's 3 goals 7. 32 to 25. Well, the ball being returned now to Nesbitt.
I'm just doubting the wisdom of Oakleigh of playing Roberts in the centre instead of Brian Ford. But I think Brian Ford in the centre would be a better player against Kenny Emsel.
Yes, I was thinking that earlier. You remember when I said that Emsel played so well in the centre, and Ford has the experience and the centre play know-how. This is Rippon now with the ball on the half-forward line. Rippon and Prahran towards centre forward. Up they go, and Weeks will pay that for Weeks. Weeks right in front. The umpires paid it too. Oh, he couldn't miss that one. He's kicked 1 goal, Weeks so far, and Prahran starting to work their way on top. This could be the first real break in the game. Prahran 4-8-32, leading Oakleigh 3-7-25. So Weeks lines them up, and it's on its way. It's right through the middle, and Prahran are getting quite a handy lead. That's 13 points lead over Oakleigh at this stage, 15 minutes into the second quarter.
Well, once more we find teams suffering from this lack of height on their back line against Prahran. If they haven't got Rod Payne to contend with down in that full forward square, it's been Peter Weeks. Now, Peter Weeks has kicked 2 goals, and on each occasion he's taken that mark against his shorter opponent, Tommy Quinn. Tommy Quinn lacking about 3 inches against Weeks every time he goes near that ball, and this is where Oakleigh have been missing out, a bit short in defence.
Wen drives the ball down into work full forward, and Halliday down there has taken the mark in the pack. Halliday has kicked 1 already and should bring Oakleigh 6 points closer. Halliday lining them up from only about 25 metres out. Moves in now, puts the ball on its way. The goal umpire's moved across and said, that's good enough. Halliday's kicked his second, and Oakleigh now move on to 4 goals 7. Prahran 5-8.
It's interesting to see both of these sides coming into a grand final, and neither one has a recognised full forward playing in that position. Ray Carr, who's a natural full forward, is playing out on the half forward flank for Oakleigh. They have Brian Halliday placed at full forward, a young ruckman, the youngest man on the ground, Brian Halliday, only 18 years of age, and he's alternating in the ruck also with David Wen. For Prahran, we have Rod Payne, who is lined up there at full forward, and he's changing with the big fellow, Peter Weeks.
Prahran leading by 7 points at the moment. Umpire Sterling in charge of this game, having a look, making sure those half-forward, half-back flankers are back off the ball. There's the bounce of the ball now. Up they go, and Payne gets the hit out to it. It's a big one to Rippon. Rippon couldn't control it. Roberts chips in, kicks it off the ground. There's Appleton looking for the free kick with a push in the back. It's not there, though. Emsel nearly had his strides. He's lost his strides, too. any rate, Rippon with the ball now, looking for someone to give it to. Keneally over to Emsel. Emsel now kicks it. Up looking for Rippon again, but chipping in to take the mark here is Sinclair. He goes straight on with play. Drives it up over the centre-half forward position. Tom Quinn trying to push it down. Does so. This is Anderson's rule. He propped for it. He's looking for a push in the back. Let's play on. No kick there. And umpire Sterling now will move in. He's talking to the players, to Anderson and to Tom Quinn. He's called for the ball and looks like he'll ball it up. There's the bounce now. And that's a big hit down too there to Sinclair as it was an awkward bounce. This is Townsend going through now. Townsend trying to turn, puts the back to Emsel. Emsel without any strides at the moment. He gets it over here to Sinclair. Sinclair was in a bit of trouble. Gets the kick in. There's Appleton taking the mark. It was a poor kick from that player, and Appleton just hovering around over that centre-half forward position took the mark. Kick one. It's a new pair of pants going out there to Emsel, as you can see. Appleton moves in, puts the ball on its way. The goal umpire doesn't have to move. His kick too, Appleton. And Oakleigh, 4-7, trailing Prahran, 6 goals, 8. The difference, 13 points. Umpire Sterling about to get it underway again. Up they go. And it was Halliday in the front position. Smith with it over to Rippon. Beautiful play by the two Blues as Rippon puts it up into the forward pocket. Up they go. There's no mark taken. Anderson with the front. Lost the run of it. There's a chance now for little Appleton. He couldn't pick it up. Quinn going in. Well shepherded by Stewart. Quinn gets it out to Stevens. Stevens drives them out of trouble. Smith gets in and takes the one-hander. So Smith short of centre-half forward. Big Weeks has dropped up into the goal square, and that's the player Smith looks for. Weeks and Quinn, up goes Weeks, too early, Appleton with a crumbs. He's running into the boundary line, screws it back, and it looks fairly good as it goes in, but it's just offline. 1 point. Prahran score moves on to 6 goals, 9. Oakleigh 4-7, the biggest lead to date, 14 points.
And Prahran looking very good too, kicking to the Fitzroy Street end of the ground, and we've just played 19 minutes in the second quarter.
Kevin Rose wouldn't be too happy with things at the moment. My word, he's a good coach, though. He's always a jump ahead. Look, he's got that runner ready to go out again now.
He'd be happier than Bob Johnson.
Should think so. Halliday caught, too slow to get rid of it. Emsel going in and Manane's coming out with it. He was held, didn't have the ball, and Manane takes the free kick.
Manane from the left half-back flank in front of the Kevin Murray stand. Emsel went right over the mark. Sterling let it go, and it's Wright who comes in. Snap shoots for goal. It'll be well offline and over the line on the full. So the free kick will be taken by Oakleigh, and justice is given here because we have Stewart now getting the free kick. Oakleigh have had 4 free kicks. Prahran 1 in this quarter. And now it comes out to Sinclair, who lines them up this time, and what's the result? Another point up to Oakleigh. I can tell the anxiousness on both sides, Ted, by those big number of points that they're getting up at the moment. It comes out towards the half-back line. And there's Halliday scooping it away. It comes through to Manane. Manane traps the ball well, and now he'll put Oakleigh into attack. Up towards centre forward. It'll go down towards Carr. He couldn't handle it. A trip here to Cloak, and Cloak will get the free kick. He's received a lot of attention behind the play, this fellow. Have you noticed it?
Well, Peter Cloak's a good player too. You notice he's getting in front. You'll always get some attention if you're leading in the race to the ball and the ball is not bouncing up for you, Phil. You'll always find the player will come into you at the back. Now, this is good play by Cloak to be able to get in front.
This will be his 8th kick for the match. He's within scoring range. He'll be 45 metres out from goal. Left footer puts it on its way. He's swinging it in pretty well. It's not a bad shot at all. And it's a goal. It's his first. And Oakleigh moved to 5-7, 37 with Prahran on 6-9, 46.
9 points of difference only now with that beautiful goal in from Peter Cloak. He's been playing very well too at centre-half forward. Both teams have had good centre-half forwards. Laurie Rippon is doing very well at centre-half forward for Prahran. And Peter Cloak doing an excellent job for Oakleigh also in that position, and both of them have got pretty good opponents too. Dickie Kelpin minding Peter Cloak, and we have Peter Lilly minding Laurie Rippon.
And on the bounce, the umpire allows the play to continue as Jeff Smith gets his hand pass in. Comes towards Robbins, however, and Robbins now will try and get away from Townsend. Has slightly the more speed, gets it up towards Manane, but it's Keneally who's using his experience, getting the ball away around the wing on the outer side of the ground. It comes through towards Smith again. And Smith of Prahran plays it up towards the half-forward line, looking for Appleton. That's Appleton in possession, but it's over the line. And the throw-in will be effected from the left half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground. Back in it comes once again, and Halliday reaching up behind Payne directs the knockdown. Lilly and Halliday in there battling for the ball, taken away by Taylor. Taylor up towards the half-forward line, and it'll be a free kick against Carr, and it'll be taken by Prahran. Carr got right over the top of Prahran there onto the shoulder, and Prahran now takes the free from the wing on the outer side of the ground. Centre half-forward it's directed to, it passes Rippon, and this allows Nesbitt to come in and defence. He swings the play to the wing again on the outer side of the ground. They fly for it. Carr went up then, and that's Carr. Over the top of the ball they come, and the umpire will decide to ball it up. The ball's there to be taken. Now Payne, it comes in towards Lilly. Lilly puts it into the hands of Sinclair. Sinclair in turn towards centre half forward, and the mark taken by Anderson of Prahran. Anderson at centre half forward, and he'd be 45 metres out from goal, and he's really taken his time at the 23.5-minute mark. He hasn't kicked a goal as yet, Anderson, but lines them up pretty deliberately now, and I don't think he'll make any mistake with this, the way the umpire's standing there. It's a goal again, and Prahran move up to 7 goals 10. Oakleigh 5 goals 7.
Well, Bob Johnson wouldn't be feeling too happy at the moment. There's a good crowd you can see there. That's the Prahran camp there. They're quite happy about the situation at the moment. They're holding this 15-point lead over Oakleigh, and they're playing much better there. The smaller force are coming, showing their strength again. Peter Sinclair, Rod Appleton, Kenny Emsland, Johnny Townsend, and also Laurie Rippon, the big fellow at centre half forward. They're the dominating forces in Prahran's half in the second quarter. And there you can see Bob.
Yes, there's wonder we couldn't hear him. Anyway, it's up towards Anderson again. He can't take the mark, but he's trapped the ball well enough. He turns around for the short pass towards Townsend, slightly misdirected, but Townsend, he'll get caught here. He's in a lot of trouble, and holding the ball. The free kick will go against him. Oh, he found himself in a power of trouble then. And we see it kicked out towards the flank, where Forster gets possession now. Forster towards the centre half-forward zone. Up they fly for it. Here's the chance for Oakleigh to get it away. Can they? Down goes Pope to the ground. It comes through to John Lilly. Lilly now decides to go for the long kick. Halliday waits for it. It goes through Halliday's hands. What can Ford do out here? He's got the ball all right. He passes it out to Manane. Manane's in a power of trouble. Look at them crowding now as they get around him. Ford's still battling away. And the umpire will come in to ball it up. I know his father, Chris Ford, would like to be down here seeing the match today, but he's out at the showgrounds with a couple of bulls or something and watching the match. So I hope you're enjoying it, Chris. Comes through now towards Colvin. Colvin with a nice hand pass out to O'Brien. O'Brien to right. White holds the ball, and the umpire calls play on, however. It's Ford down on the deck again. The umpire blowing the whistle and has elected to ball it up. Appleton rolling on the ground too. Let's hope he can get up for Prahran's sake and his own. It comes through towards Emsel, and Emsel now getting the hand pass wide. That's Wright who passed it back towards Emsel, but in the meantime the umpire's blowing the whistle and he's elected to give a free kick, and it'll be taken by Emsel. Appleton still in the hands of the trainers here, and we're at the 26-minute mark into the second quarter.
And that's Appleton receiving attention now. Got a bad one round the head then. Okay, the kick up onto that half-forward line. Payne in the middle of the pack, couldn't bring it down though. And it's they're hunting in packs out there at the moment. It's a big pack. I don't think they'll come out with it. Finally, they do get it out as Taylor comes through for Oakleigh, drives it in towards Ford. Ford let it bounce. Oh, Ford's not too good, I don't think. He could be carrying a slight injury. Not the same Ford that we know. That's nicely picked up by Colvin. Bounced away from the tackle, gets the head pass into Wright. Wright was grabbed and lost the run of it. Coming in to help out now is Townsend. Townsend's kicks over onto the flank, and Smith had to duck as Forster was moving into him. Smith having words with Forster, saying, good thing you missed for me. So Smith now from the half-forward line. Played well, too, when having a run on the ball. There's Rippon up there. He's outmanoeuvred, though. Wright goes hard into that pack as Stevens comes through with the ball. Lost the run of it. There's a chance now for Nesbitt. He was slow to pick it up. Weeks going in after him, grabs him, and it's holding the man. And we find Sinclair in trouble too, down on the ground. He's picking himself up. He's badly winded by the look of it.
A little bit of solid stuff coming into it, Ted.
Well, coming into now. Oakleigh appear to me to be getting a little bit frustrated, Phil.
Here's the kick from Nesbitt, and Taylor dropping in takes the mark. Taylor goes straight on with play, drives the ball down now to Cloak. Colford from behind, but Cloak takes a good mark, a strong mark by Peter Cloak. John Lilly moving down. There's the kick. It's directed to that player, but too wide of him. Smith missed the run of it. That's nicely pushed out here by Perruit. Perruit puts the hand pass over to Townsend. Townsend back to Perruit. Perruit looking for Anderson. Anderson waits for it to bounce up to him. Nesbitt in after him. He's a little slow as it's screwed round by Anderson in towards goal, but it's out on the full, and so the free kick will possibly be taken by Quinn. Quinn from the back pocket, driving it back, looking for Forster. Townsend over there, and Forster takes the mark. Forster from that half-back flank. Moves in now, drives the ball down onto the wing position. They set themselves. Wen getting up, takes the mark for Oakleigh. Oakleigh doing fairly well in the air, but Prahran winning when the ball hits the turf. Kick from Wen, down short of the half-forward line. Colford broke up that pack as he got the big punch to the ball. Here's a race for it as O'Brien tries to keep it in, can't do so, and a throw-in to take place right on the 28.5-minute mark for the second quarter. The difference there is 15 points. Here's the throw-in, and Carr getting a big hit out. There's a chance now for Gunn. Player dropping in on top of the ball there as O'Brien got it out there. It's cleared now by Keneally, up in towards the centre. There's a chance now for coming through Sinclair. It's put over to Wright. Sinclair's been put down to the ground as Wright drives the ball up. Oh, it was missed by Anderson. Took it a little easily. Nesbitt was tripped. It's play on. Nesbitt recovers quickly, loses the run of it now. The whistle's gone. It's holding the man, and the free kick will go to Nesbitt. Nesbitt of Oakleigh, probably a little lucky to get out of that one, although I thought it was a free kick earlier in the piece.
8 free kicks to Oakleigh and 3 to Prahran in this quarter.
Stevenson and Sinclair having words behind the pack. Sinclair was down earlier, and now umpire Sterling will move in because there's 3 or 4 players pushing and shoving out here. He's warned both players. Both Stevens and Sinclair have been warned by umpire Sterling, and now the ball will go back to player to have the kicker is Nesbitt. Anderson's crept right up on the mark. Nesbitt wants him back. Umpire Sterling's calling Anderson back now. And I think Oakleigh could be just a little frustrated. They're not used to trailing like this. Nesbitt moving in from the half-back flank, and he's not moving well. There's something wrong with Nesbitt. Okay, Weeks with it, puts the hand pass out. Stevens in the van now, right going in after him. It's left for Forster. Forster puts the hand pass over to Roberts. Oh, nicely chipping it is Sinclair. Sinclair onto the right foot, that's going goalwards. Tom Quinn with the front position, Weeks up behind. Anderson trying to get it over, gets it to Wright. And Wright is touched, no goal. That was touched through for 1 point. And so Oakleigh, 5 goals, 7, trail Prahran, 7-11.
Well, my observation, and probably yours at home, is Prahran on top here at the moment. Oakleigh becoming slightly frustrated.
Well, they started to get frustrated about 7 or 8 minutes ago when they could see that Prahran were getting on top, Phil.
Here's the kick-off towards the half-back line. Rippon leads in the race for the ball. It comes through to Weeks. Weeks with a hand pass. They're playing beautifully, Prahran. It comes through to Smith, and he's made no mistake. It's a goal on the board to Prahran. They move up to 8 goals, 11, 59. That was his second. Oakleigh 5-7, 37. And Kevin Rose just shooting his runner out. And Bob Johnson's shot his out before then.
But that's the obvious move. The forward should be in the centre.
Wen getting the knockout from the ruck. It comes down towards Forster, but taken away again by Emsel. He's winning hands down in the centre. Gets it up to Sinclair, and Sinclair from the left half-forward flank. As the siren goes, they cut it out now because the siren's gone. And Oakleigh trailing. Prahran, 8 goals, 11, 59. Leading Oakleigh, 5 goals, 7, 37.
Okay, both sides out onto the ground. Umpire Sterling in charge of this game. He's done a great job up to half-time too, and it's about to get underway again.
That has got to be moved urgently. Thank you for your attention.
We couldn't talk then. It's a bit hard to compete with the public address system. Anyway, there's umpire Brian Sterling signalling to the timekeepers, and we're right now for the third quarter. And the knockout by Payne comes down to Culpin. Culpin couldn't get away. Through towards Barr, who's been pretty quiet so far today. Barr up towards the half-forward line, but Grange coming in to defend. Grange gets the hand pass across to Prahran, who got one right in the comic. It comes through towards Foster. Foster snap shoots for goal, and it'll be a goal to Oakleigh. They move on to 6-7 with Prahran 8-11 and Prahran. Oh, he's had his wind snap. I saw him come through the pack, and boy, did he grab for the midsection. So, he's taking a couple of big gulps out there at the moment. Oakleigh 6-7, Port Prahran 8-11-59. Can Oakleigh come back? It's 1 minute into the third quarter.
Johnny Townsend has moved down from the half-forward line to the half-back to pick up Ray Carr. That's Brian Perura's player.
And there's a bounce and a big knockout from Wen, but it goes into the hands of Culpin. Culpin couldn't break away and is taken by Robbins. Robbins streaks towards goal, puts the ball on its way offline. And he had plenty of time, Robbins. Then Taylor was standing. He's still going mad, Taylor. Robbins holding his head, and so he should. That's his second point. Hasn't kicked a goal. That takes Oakleigh to 6-8 with Prahran on 8 goals, 11. It could have been a morale booster. As Gunn comes out now. Line on the outer side of the ground. Up they fly for it. Wen tried to take the mark, couldn't. A pick up by Keneally. Keneally has the ball smothered as he kicks it. Here's Robbins now with a chance to atone for that last bad shot. Plays it up towards the half-forward line, and Sweeper Manane comes in on the ball. He shoots it across towards centre forward. Gunn has it punched away. It's back. There's a race for the ball now. Who will get it first? It's a one-hander pick up, the scoop by Foster. Foster still pushing it back, but he's getting it right back towards the centre. He's in a lot of trouble holding the ball, but the umpire allows the play to continue. It's dribbled up the ground here by Barr, but it comes back towards Peter Lilly. Lilly has the chance to kick, and he does. They're hesitating everywhere at the moment, but Pope comes in to take the mark. Now let's see if he can take his time with this kick. He's decided to go for the kick. Ford was calling for it back near centre half forward, but he decided to go for Manane. It's taken here by Carr, a snap shoots that puts it through for 1 point. So that takes Oakleigh on to 6 goals, 9, trailing Prahran, 8 goals, 11. Well, we'll be giving these scores on Pick the Points all the way through the last quarter for the Cole Page board, culminating in the winner coming up here to receive the keys for it after the final siren. Gunn coming up with the kick, plays to the half-back line. Sinclair comes down to meet the ball and meets it well to take the mark. Play starting to settle down a bit again as Sinclair plays it around the wing on the outer side of the ground. Oakleigh having the advantage of the wind. It's knocked down to the ground. Stacks on the mill. Stevens pushes it out. And coming through here was Little Smith. He couldn't get it. 2 Oakleigh players bear down. Oh, look at that. Wen copped one solidly. I don't think he's too fit. Barr now kicks it up towards the forward zone. It's punched away from Halliday. A nice hand passing going on, ending up with O'Brien. O'Brien wide of the centre. Appleton has it punched away by Stewart. Stewart comes through. Hand passes the ball as O'Brien came in. It'll come back nicely for Stewart. He'll swing it around in front of goals, and this will be a mark. Cloak coming in to take the mark. 20 metres in front of goal.
Great play by Ronnie Stewart then, Phil.
Good thinking play. He's kicked 1 goal, Cloak. He's always anxious to get on with the kick. He takes his time. He's got the big chance. He comes in with it now. Spars it on its way. It's a goal. And Oakleigh move on to 8-9, 51. They're bridging the gap. Prahran, 8-11, 59.
They're still trailing by 8 points. And they've got the wind in this third quarter. It's a vital quarter for Oakleigh too, because if they're going to have any hope in this game, remembering that Prahran will come out with this breeze in the last quarter, Oakleigh will have to put a decent score on the board in this vital third term. I'm just wondering, what did Bob Johnson say to Oakleigh to fire them the way he has in the opening of this third quarter?
I bet you wouldn't like to repeat it. And back here, Oakleigh into attack again, but coming in is Peruraud in defence to take the mark. Repeating that score, Oakleigh 7-9, 51, trading Prahran 8-11, 59. Here's the kick from Peruraud. They rise high before acceptance is here, and Cloak it is who'll be paid the mark in the centre of the pack. Cloak comes out. He's that player starting to fire Oakleigh up on the forward line. That was his 7th mark as he left foots it now. Swings it right up to the tip of the goal square. Up they fly for it. No one able to take the mark. There could be a free given here. But little Taylor comes out with the ball. Screws it over the shoulder. Doesn't get any distance with it. And players bearing down on it once again. But who can pick it up? It's picked up by Robbins. He's jammed by Appleton. Ford gets it. He snap shoots towards goal, and Peruraud in the last line of defence marks again. So Peruraud will steady play down. Wait for players further afield to pick position. Here's Prahran coming out with the kick.
Prahran places it onto the half-back line. Big Payne punches it away from Wen and forces it out over the line. And Prahran have got to defend now. And they're defending stoutly. Oakleigh doing all the attacking. They've added a couple of goals. Payne getting the hit down and the shark away from him by Cloak. That's White getting the hand pass to O'Brien. O'Brien getting away with it now. He's had a couple of bounces. Through he goes. There's the hand pass shot over to Emsel. Emsel puts it onto the boot, drives it down into centre-half forward. Sits there, takes the mark. Look for Townsend, it was badly placed, put him under pressure. That's turned away now by Nesbitt. It's taken by Emsel again. Emsel drives it down to Apple. Sets himself. Doesn't take the mark though, he butters up again. Let him going in towards goal, and Stewart's been put down and umpire Sterling saw it. I don't know whether that score will count or not. The ball will be brought back. Stewart was dumped down very heavily to the ground. Ball coming back. Well, that's bad luck for Prahran. A silly move there, whoever did do that, I didn't see it.
Weeks was the player that ran into Stewart then. Weeks coming through, tried to shepherd, went straight into the player.
Well, it was a silly move because Appleton was going straight in towards goal.
He looks pretty sick too, Ronnie Stewart. That was a hard knock he got, Peter.
Yes, it was around the throat area, I think. Stewart now from the back pocket. Oakleigh supporters happy with this one. Moves in now, drives the ball as far as he can. Onto that half-back line. Went into the pack and into a player's back. And the free kick's got to go to Big Payne. Payne now. Now Emsel taking. No, it's going back to Payne. He's got to give it to Payne. It was Payne's free kick.
A couple of drops of rain falling too, Peter.
Well, it won't help either side, possibly Oakleigh.
I'm not worried about the side, I'm worried about us.
Bring the raincoat. Okay, there it is down in the woods, centre-half forward. And Prahran into attack. Emsel with it, drives it down. He was looking for Smith, but missed him. And Stewart took the mark. Hand passes over to Quinn. Quinn shoots the hand pass to Barr. Barr puts it to John Lilly. John Lilly decides to kick it now. He was looking for Cloak, but Colvin in front has taken the mark.
The big kick is what's paying off today. They should be short passing like this, Oakleigh.
They're overdoing it. Both sides at times too. There's the kick. It's went into no man's land. Peter Lilly comes out with it. He now drives it out of danger. The whistle's gone. And he's speaking to Barr. Umpire Sterling talking to Barr down there. And also right by the look of it. And it's a free kick, I think could go Oakley's way, or he'll bounce the ball. It's coming back to where it was. Let's see what his decision is. He's called for the ball, so he's going to ball it up. Waiting for the bounce. A big lot of players moving up into that vicinity too. Here's the bounce. Big Payne and Wen. Wen gets the hit out too to Manane. Manane, the hand pass over to Taylor. Taylor breaking away with pace. Drives it right over to the opposite flank, and the mark's been taken over there by Robbins. And Oakleigh kicking with the breeze. Prahran moving around, covering players now. Robbins just short of centre-half forward. Oh, put that right up into the air, and it's carrying up towards goal, but it's offline. The distance was there, the accuracy was astray, so it's a point on the board to Oakleigh. They move closer. They go on to 7 goals, 10. Prahran, 8 goals, 11. That was his third behind, Robbins.
I noticed that Brian Ford is tagging Kenny Emsel, so it looks like that Oakleigh have got Robbins on the ball now, and Brian Ford in the centre.
Here's the kick out now from Gunn. Goes the far side of the ground. It's onto the half-back line. Big Payne's out there in front. Pushed away, though, from him by Webb. Here's a chance for Colton. The ball was nicely delivered out to that player. Down to where Jim Wright will do battle with John Lilly. No one took the mark. Peter Lilly brought down to the ground, holding the ball.
Bit tough there.
Bit tough. And the free kick goes to Anderson. Anderson. And umpire Sterling talking to players there. He's not penalising the side. Thought he may have brought the player back on the mark 15 metres. Anderson now from just over the centre of the ground drives it down in towards the forward pocket. Up they go, and the mark's not paid. Play on, says umpire Sterling. There was a big back down there. It's pushed out of trouble by Oakleigh. And will the mark be paid? The big fella Payne.
Now we'll kick from the centre of the ground. Gets ready to move in, puts it on its way up towards centre forward. Quinn comes in from behind, but it comes down into the hands of Smith. He puts it across the face of the big sticks, and it'll dribble through for 1 point. So that takes Prahran on to 8 goals, 12, with Oakleigh on 7 goals, 10. 60 points to 52. 8 points the difference in Prahran's favour. Stewart going back rather slowly in preparation for the Kick-off, though, he threw it across to Nesbitt. He'll take the kick-off, of course. Now, Nesbitt, not quite sure where to put it. Straight up the centre, looking for Wen. Wen goes up in front and will pay Wen. Payne came in behind, but Payne took it out of the hands of Wen. Wen now will take the kick from just short of the centre, near a centre half-back, really. He skies it, not a good kick, but Cloak now getting up in front, has it punched away, and there's Townsend coming in on the ball, and Townsend of Prahran screws it around towards centre half forward, and moving in is Anderson, who ended up with a push in the back against his opponent in Nesbitt, and the free kick will be taken by Anderson. Anderson a fair way out, but kicking into a slight breeze towards the lake end of the ground. Puts it on its way. It's a bad kick. It'll drop short, but it'll... No, I thought it was going to be marked by Townsend, but coming through is Sinclair. Had a mile to run then, and then put it through for a goal, or touch. No, a touch. Well, listen to the crowd over here, the Prahran supporters. They didn't think so, but they're not down that end. And Prahran 8-13, hopefully 7-10. But look, they're all on the wing. Now, how can you tell with an umpire on the goal line? Nesbitt now with the kick-off towards the centre, and Amstel sneaking away on his own again. He's running rings around the players in that centre position. This is his 16th kick as he puts it on its way towards that right forward pocket. Quinn comes out, comes down here towards Lilly. Lilly bangs it straight into the hands of Townsend. Townsend will skip back to take the kick. He thinks he can boot it too, by the way he was looking up forward.
It's on down here too, Phil. Goal umpires moved out to separate those two players, and they quickly separate. Down in the goal square.
We're just waiting now on Townsend to take the kick. It's not a bad kick either. It's well on its way. It'll drop that bit short, but it's an over Prahran mark. And there's a little bit of shoving and frustration coming into it now. And look at them go here. There's Quinn after an opponent. And look at the crowd. Can we come out a bit wider and have a look what might be going on around it? Because the crowd are having a go here too. The crowd stormed down towards the fence then. Well, I don't know whether there'll be any reports out of it. Yes. It looks as though Quinn may have had his number taken. And he's moving over to Rippon now. Rippon trying to explain out here. And umpire Walker, wasn't out there? That's the boundary umpire, Colin Walker. But it means now that we'll have the shot for goal to be taken by Anderson. He's kicked one. He couldn't miss from here. We've said that before, I know, but he's a left footer. He's on the wrong side, but it'll be difficult for him to miss. He's put it through. And Prahran move on to 10 goals, 13, 67, with Oakleigh on 7-10, 52. Well, you've seen the action in the second and third quarters. Now, let's move on to the last few minutes of play and the big finish of the 1973 Premiership being taken out by Prahran.
Interesting to note too, Brian Keneally, who's a very experienced player, played in a lot of finals with Melbourne and with Prahran, has yet to play in a grand final side that's been beaten, and he looks like keeping his record intact today. There's the ball delivered down over the half-forward line. Forster up, couldn't take the mark. Coming out with it now is Carr. Carr drives it down in towards the forward pocket. Went. Couldn't take the mark though. Didn't quite hang on to it long enough. That's Cloak going through now, driving it in towards goal. It's a bit late, but it's through. And Oakleigh now gone to 9-16, trailing Prahran 15-23. Cloak has kicked 3.
Well, Peter Cloak's third goal for the match. Well, if you're looking for a trier on the Oakleigh side, you'd have to give full marks to Peter Cloak today. He's had a very difficult opponent to beat, and that's Dick Colburn, probably as good as any centre half-back playing in the VFA today. But Peter Cloak has been trying. He started off very well in that first quarter. We got right on top of Colburn, but Colburn brought him back to the field a little bit, but Cloak never stopped trying. He was getting away, getting that mark. If any mistake he's been making, it's been playing on too quickly, but a good game from Peter Cloak today.
And this big crowd, they're not leaving the ground. They want to see the two Blues take it out. Here's the bounce of the ball. Weeks and Quinn. Quinn trying to get the hit out. It wasn't effective. Appleton in there, got the ball out, scooped it out. Coming out with it now is O'Kane. O'Kane driving it down across the half-forward line. Out in front here is Robbins, leading in the race for the ball. He's hotly pressed though, trying to pick it up. Does so now. He's in trouble. Lost the run of it for a moment, came back again. Granger's in after him. Now Robbins goes through, breaks the tackle nicely, puts the hand pass over to Quinn, missed it. O'Kane picking behind him though, comes back, puts it down in towards the forward pocket, but the mark's taken by O'Brien, and defence down there for Prahran. Keneally making position. O'Brien looking for Emsel. There's the kick now. Emsel and Robbins. Emsel got his hands to the ball. That's put over by Weeks. Nicely finds Sinclair. He's in a bit of trouble. Sinclair comes back again. Oh, look, puts it nicely over to Emsel. Emsel to Appleton with a hand pass. He delivers it up onto the half-forward line. Rippen's got up. He'll get the mark. Should get the free kick. It's not paid. Wasn't seen. Coming out with it is Anderson. Anderson driving it up in towards full forward. They set themselves. No mark taken. Payne tried to get it. Smith diving in on it. Holding Stewart there. Halliday coming out with it. Puts it to Nesbitt with a hand pass. Nesbitt puts Oakleigh out of trouble as he delivers it down here. Wright will set himself. He's well shepherded there, but missed the mark. Appleton goes through. Runs through the pack. Stevens trying to block him and does so nicely because he forces him to kick the ball out on the full, and the free kick will be taken up there by Peter Lilly, possibly. Waiting for the ball to come back to Lilly. What a great final it's been. Seen that Prahran have just been too strong on the day. Oakleigh very hesitant at the start. I think they've gone into this game with a couple of players not 100% fit. There's Stevens driving it down onto the wing position. Cloak in front. It's pushed away by Colton. Quinn missed the run of it. Weeks puts the hand pass over to Appleton. Appleton onto the right foot. It's a short one. Nicely finds Emsel. Emsel looks up to Wright. Wright will set himself. It's punched away well, though, by Peter Lilly out over the line, and it'll be thrown in. 70 Oakleigh, Prahran 113. 43-point lead. Here's the throw-in. Quinn in front. Quinn hits the ball down looking for Taylor. Taylor has it now. Quickly gets the kick in, but look where it's to. Appleton will take the mark without any trouble whatsoever. He's on the half-forward line. Appleton now. From the half-forward line, driving Prahran into attack, and they're going to win this by as much as they can. They're not slowing down at all. Coming out there was Halliday. Missed the mark. Ford has it. Now it's a free kick going to Halliday of Oakleigh.
And Peter Sharp is now moving down to the Prahran dressing rooms, and you'll see backpack shots coming out of there and all the atmosphere of a winning premiership side in a few moments as it comes up to Colpin, and Colpin marks in defence. It's 26 minutes into the last quarter, and there's no hope for Oakleigh. Prahran, the victors, I would say now, for 1973, have well-deserved the way they played their 3 matches in the final series. First of all, they knocked off Port Melbourne. Then last week, they annihilated Dandenong, and they've done a similar thing to Oakleigh today. A great comeback by Prahran. And a lot of credit must go to their coach in Kevin Rose as it came down towards Taylor. There's Smith trying to get through. And this is Rose's last year as coach, Ted. Now Fry's kicked it up towards the centre. That was his first kick. There's Carr, put it into the hands of Keneally, but O'Kane takes it away from him, goes for the long kick downfield, and will bounce through for another one to Oakleigh, and they move on to 76 points with Prahran on 113.
Well, Danny O'Kane kicking that goal. Here's a player I thought should have been brought onto the ground well before half-time. Oakleigh had many players down on form here today, and O'Kane plays a similar type of game to what these Prahran players do.
And back here, the umpire, Brian Sterling, goes for the bounce again. Pushed down to the ground from the front by Quinn, and Emsel gets the free. Well, we're up to 189 points, and the nearest to that in our Pick the Points competition is 210 at the moment by Miss J. Jennings of Heatherton Road, Dandenong. She went for the lowest number. She has it all her way at the moment because there'd only be 4 or 5 minutes of play left. There's the kick up towards the centre half-forward position. It comes through towards Stevens. Stevens has done his bit for Oakleigh today in defence. He's kicked it off out towards the wing here on the stand side of the ground, kicks it further around the field. He's going to try and keep it in play, but there's been a push in the back, I'd say, to Colpin. This is why is the umpire?
No, he signalled it out of bounds. That ball was a foot inside the line.
I think our cameras were following it pretty clearly around the ground. It wasn't out. But he's given it out, but it doesn't matter that much now, Ted.
Not really, Phil.
Not as far as the result is concerned. Quinn tried to palm it down to Robbins. Robbins got it across here towards Forster, but Quinn now towards Cloak. Cloak up towards the forward zone. A battle going on. Keneally coming in, but coming out as Perrault. He couldn't get the kick in. There's Keneally trying to come through. And holding the ball, says the umpire, and the free kick will be taken by O'Kane of Oakleigh. He's livened things up a bit since he came on. He's gone for the short pass, gets it across towards Ford, but Ford couldn't get in there. O'Brien is the player trying to get away with it. O'Brien scoops it off the ground. Been difficult to select the best player for the pair of Creamer football boots, Ted.
It's been a difficult job, Phil, but I finally come up. There's about 10 players I could select, but I've gone for Peter Sinclair for his consistency and his drive all day long. He's gone out of the game a bit now in this final quarter, but he's been a tremendous player for Prahran.
There's Weeks getting the knockout from the ruck. It comes down towards Keneally. Ford is chipping in there. Ford trying to pick the ball up, couldn't do so. Scoops it off the ground, through towards Robbins. Robbins couldn't get away, and there's a tired lot of players out there at the present time. Oakleigh would feel a little worse for wear because they're the side that's down. And the public congregating around the race here. They're on the ground everywhere as we have a shot for goal. And it'll be touched through by Gunn to take Oakleigh on to 10-17, 77, with Prahran on 15-23, 113.
Only a few seconds left in this game now with Prahran 113 points to Oakleigh 77, and no doubt Prahran will have big celebrations tonight, and as Phil said, the crowd is over the fence now waiting to go out to congratulate these Prahran players on a magnificent performance here today in the 1973 Grand Final. Right from the public, halfway through the first quarter, they look the winners.
Back it comes once again, and there'll be a replay of the second half of this game on Channel A tonight, immediately after our main movie, as Carr is trying to get through. He can't get away with the ball at all and dribbles it over the line.
But also Caulfield Football Club, too, will be having a replay of the Grand Final, too, and their victory this year, and that will be at the Caulfield Town Hall on the 1st of October. A Grand Final replay of the Caulfield Premiership win.
Right, Ted. Well, now here's a kick about to be taken out here by David Wen. David Wen within scoring range. He's kicked a point in the game to date, and he's kicked a second point now, and that takes Oakleigh to 10-18, 78 to Prahran's 15-23, 113. 31 minutes they've played into the last quarter, and many people leaving the ground at this stage. Although on the outer there, you'll see them in the background. There's quite a few staying to see it out. As Robbins now gets around, or tried to get around his opponents, holds the ball. The umpire called play on as it comes through to Ford. Ford up towards the pocket position. Off their hands down there to Gunn. Gunn passes out to Culpin. And Culpin now will clear it onto the half-back line with Emsel racing across here. What a magnificent final series this player has had. He plays it to the wing on the stand side of the ground. And there it'll be forced over the line in the throw-in. And you can see the pack of people down here. The crowd over the fence, all crowding around the boundary line, and that's it. And so the final scores: Prahran 15-23, total of 113 to Oakleigh's 10-18, and that is a total of 78.
Okay, we're in the Prahran rooms at the moment. Charles Luck's just moving over, congratulating Peter Sinclair there. I'm going to get Kevin Rose over. I know he'll probably want to say hello to his players. Laurie Rippon just coming through, and it's a pretty tired Laurie Rippon too, being congratulated by the Prahran side here, and the players having a bit of trouble getting in the race because of the number of people that have congregated there. Wright, Jim Wright coming in. And we're still waiting for all the players to move in. I'll have Kevin Rose over just as soon as we can get near him. But Kevin's wanting to welcome the players as they come through the race. And they're trying to keep the public back at the moment. They are, and doing it quite effectively to let these players through. But it's a bit of a mix-up there in the race. President of the VFA with me here too, Alec Gillen. A great win, Alec.
Yes. The best side in the day. Excellent climax to the season, yes.
Okay, players still making their way through too. Big Weeks, who played a great game. Steve O'Brien. Brian Keneally, who I mentioned, has kept his grand final record intact. Brian, congratulations, you kept that grand final record intact. I believe you get to play in a losing grand final side.
I don't think I ever will now.
You might be retiring. Here's the club song. Okay, Kevin Rose. Kevin, can I just get a quick word with you over here, please?
When I've seen all the players.
Okay, well, Kevin wants to see all the players there. As we mentioned, he'd want to move round them, and he's still congratulating them all. We'll have him over in just a moment. We'll be talking with Ken Emsall, and it's a very excited Prahran side here. I think it's just thinking through that they've finally won it. One little fella that played a great game. Rod Appleton, congratulations. How's it feel to win?
Oh, terrific.
Well, you had it won out there pretty early. It was a great first half, and that's what won it for you. Good on you, Rod. You're staying with Prahran. Good on you. Congratulations. A great game. Jack Morgan here. Bert, good win. Great. Bert, congratulations. Great spoiler. Okay, we'll go through the song again. Moving over to us now. Kevin, congratulations. All the critics went against you. You told us Thursday night you'd win, and you won well.
Yes, it was tremendous, Peter.
Well, you yourself, you had to be talked into coaching the side this year. You had to win the last game to make the 4, and I believe you're the first side to win the grand final from 4th place since 1st and 2nd division has been in.
Oh,
it's a big record.
Well, it's good, but, you know, I must be a fool in coaching these fellas because they were superb, you know. But without players, you haven't got a chance. There's no stage in the latter half of the year did they relent, you know. The players were absolutely tremendous, you know. Just couldn't say enough for them.
There must have been times during the season you were wondering whether you were going to make the 4 or not.
Yes, there was a bit of doubt for a while, but when we got going, when we settled into a pattern of play, there was no doubt that we were going to get in and we were going to do well.
Right, thanks very much.
The players, you couldn't help it. And thanks very much for your support during the years.
Thank you. Okay, Alec Gillen, the president of the VFA, about to address the Prahran side.
We have some quiet thank you for Councillor Alec Gillen. Quiet thank you. Won't get it. Quiet thank you. Mr. President, officials and supporters, I won't hold you up because I know this is so important that you're famous. My purpose in being at the moment addressing you is to congratulate you. You're the best side on the day. You came from the 4th position to 1st, which is a wonderful performance. Congratulations.
Ken Emsall, if I can get up. I'm trying to get Ken Emsall to come forward. It's a pretty tired Ken Emsall too. Ken, congratulations. A great game on your part. You must have been very proud of the boys today.
Yes, we did it again. Everyone fired again.
Well, they really turned it on.
3 weeks in a row.
I know you were confident, Ken. When we talked to you, we said you were going to find it hard, but you were confident you could win.
Well, we've been confident right from the start of the year that if we could get into the finals in the good conditions and on the dry, hard grounds, we had the players to fire under those conditions.
You certainly did. Ken, what are your own plans for next year?
Oh, I haven't got a clue, Peter. I won't think about it for another couple of months.
Ken Emsall, captain of Prahran, congratulations.
I've got that Forex kind of feel creeping up on me, sitting in the shade of a big old tree, working up a thirst, just staring at the sea, feeling this is how things ought to be. I wish this lazy Sunday would never disappear and I could hold back Monday for the rest of the year. I can feel a Forex